Welcome to Forbidden Planet TV, where I'm privileged to be joined today by the author Adrienne Young. How are you, mate?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, thanks for joining us at Forbidden Planet Television. Now, you very famously are the author of Sky in the Deep, the author of The Girl the Sea Gave Back, but we're here to talk about your new novel, out now from Titan Books, my lovely colleagues at Titan Books, Fable. So Adrienne, what can you tell me about Fable?
Fable is a really different kind of new world for me following Sky in the Deep and The Girl the Sea Gave Back. It's a seafaring world and kind of inspired by the Age of Sail. And the book is about a girl named Fable, and she was abandoned 4 years ago on an island of these cutthroat thieving kind of characters by her father the day after her mother died in a shipwreck. And she has spent every day since then trying to scrape together the coin to get back across the water to find him and kind of claim her place on his trading crew, her mother's place on his trading crew. And of course, things do not go as planned. Things get very hairy, and she is forced to trust this young, mysterious trading crew to take her across the Narrows, this world that she lives in. And she meets a lot of danger along the way. There are a lot of uncovered secrets along the way, and she winds up kind of learning more about not only the father who left her behind, but even her mother and her family and their whole story.
Fantastic. And what was your process for creating the world that you have engineered for this novel?
I was really inspired by this image when the idea for the book first came to me. I was really inspired by this image of this girl standing on a beach and watching this ship sail away and knowing that she had been left there and that her father was on the ship and that he wasn't coming back. And that's kind of how ideas always come to me, is kind of in this image. And then my process of developing the story and the world is kind of answering the questions of, like, who is this person? Where are they? Why are they there? What happened? And with Fable, it really all spawned from that one image of this girl on the beach. And I was also heavily inspired by a music video very randomly that I saw online somewhere. And the song is called Runnin' by Naughty Boy.
Yeah.
And the entire thing is choreographed underwater with these freedivers, a man and a woman. They're famous freedivers. And I was very inspired by this music video, and I really wanted to incorporate these like underwater scenes in the book. And it kind of all spiraled from there, and kind of like from this island image and then this music video and this idea of having this underwater part of the world kind of just all branched out from there.
That's very, very interesting. I think, not having seen either the image or the video that you're talking about, hearing you describe it, I think it's very evocative. I can feel the beauty of the image that you're talking about. And certainly there is something almost spectrally beautiful and hypnotic about freediving, I think. I think watching people be underwater for those extended periods of time with all that fluid motion without any breathing apparatus or whatever, it's quite an incredible thing to watch.
Yeah, and it's very artistic. They don't look real down there. They almost look like a painting or like dancers or something, the way they move and everything. It's just I was so inspired. I watched it over and over and over and over, and then it kind of developed into this whole thing. Well, what would they be doing down there? Like, if this was a part of their world, what would they be doing down there? And it kind of led into this whole vein of the story where my main character is what's called a dredger, and she's like excavating essentially precious gemstones from the coral reefs under the water. And that plays into like the economy of the world and the power dynamics and everything else. So it's really funny because that music video had so much to do with how this whole story came together, and it was just something I randomly ran across.
That really is so interesting. Did you, in your life, Was there ever a nautical theme that you had running through other experiences that you'd had? Is that something you knew about yourself, that you were drawn to, like the shape of water, or drawn to the sea, or to sailing, or any of that kind of stuff?
I am very, very drawn to water.
Yeah.
I love the ocean, lakes, rivers, ponds, like waterfalls. I'm just very drawn to them. And they do make appearances and play roles in all of my projects. And this world is so different from the last world I worked with. The last one was very kind of like dark and gloomy and cold and like wintry, and then this world is this sunny, warm, colorful world, but they both have a lot of like water influence in them. And I myself have not been sailing, but I've been on sailboats before, and I have spent a lot of time snorkeling. And so I feel like I definitely drew from my own experience as far as those underwater descriptions. But the sailing aspect, I had to really rely on an expert for a lot of that. I had to do a lot of research myself. And then I worked with an expert who read my early drafts multiple times to kind of help me develop an accuracy and an authenticity in the actual sailing.
Very interesting. And has that process has inspired you to perhaps learn to sail in future, or to get involved with that scene?
I would love to. I would really, really love to. I'm very drawn to the idea of sailing, but I have never been myself, and I know it requires a lot of training and experience to be able to do it safely and well. So it's kind of intimidating to me, but I love the idea of it.
Yeah. And how long did it take you to go from having that idea come to you, having that inspiration come to you from the video, from the painting, until the point where you delivered your completed manuscript? What was that genesis period? How long was it?
It probably was about 2.5 years. I tend to like get an idea and really let it marinate in the back of my mind for maybe 6 months, 12 months, 18 months before I actually start writing it. I find that that's kind of how things develop the best for me. So that's kind of the pattern I usually follow. And with Fable, it was a little bit longer. It was probably 2.5 years, just because I was completing Sky in the Deep and The Girl to Sea Gate Back, and I had this other project I was dying to work on. And as soon as I finished The Girl to Sea Gate Back and handed that over, I immediately started writing Fable.
Amazing. And am I right in thinking it's the first half of a duology?
Yes, yeah, it's the first of 2 books, and Namesake is the sequel.
And when is I know that that Fable is out now, and it is available to order from the links attached to this video. When is Namesake due to be published?
Namesake will be coming out in the UK early next year, I believe.
And have you finished that novel?
Yes, it's actually coming out in the US in just a few weeks.
Oh, wow.
And
Amazing.
yeah, and then it's just waiting to get published in the UK too.
Yeah, excellent. Oh, that's brilliant. And am I right in thinking that Fable garnered some support from Reese Witherspoon in the US?
Yes, yeah, it was a Reese's book club pick here in the US, which is this coveted, lovely, wonderful opportunity for authors over here. And it really was this wonderful thing where it kind of opened the book up to new readers that maybe wouldn't have come across the book before. And so being a part of her book club and that program and everything they have for authors and readers has been like a really cool, special part of the experience with Fable.
Oh yeah, it must be an amazing and quite an accolade actually when you're included on a list like that. I think the extra exposure must be a fantastic thing.
Yeah, it was a lovely, lovely surprise.
And outside of the next part of that duology, Namesake, can you give me a flavor of what you're working on at the moment?
Yeah, kind of. It's a big secret. We hopefully will be announcing here in the next month or two and kind of pulling back the curtain on that project. But it's something I'm really, really excited about. And I think that especially like readers of Fable and Namesake will be really excited about too. So we're on the verge of announcing what's coming next.
Fantastic. I'll look forward to hearing that. And Adrienne, would you have any ambitions to also write within other media, you know, to work within TV or film or streaming or theatre? Is there anything like that that appeals to you?
Yes, I actually, that's one of my big dreams, is to venture into screenwriting. I think that one of my, you know, books will kind of always be my first love. I will be writing books for as long as people will buy them from me. But once I got published and, you know, my career got settled and I kind of grew roots in publishing, I definitely have been kind of dreaming of like the next phase of my career. And the big one for me is working in screenwriting, whether that's for movies or TV show or something like that. That's kind of like my big pie in the sky dream. So hopefully maybe one day I'll get an opportunity like that.
Oh, I'm sure you will. The reason I asked the question is that your work has such a keen visual sense. I think as an author, you know, you're so visually evocative. And what I didn't know until we started talking is when you went through your inspirations for Fable, they're so visually orientated. Generally speaking, it seems to me that people who have that gift are inspired in that way actually enjoy the process of switching over to screenwriting and definitely have something they can offer if they're writing for a purely visual medium like the screen, whether it's the big or the small screen.
It's so true. Screenwriting is a totally different art form and animal. Like, you're still telling a story, but you are doing it in this very visual, visceral way. And so that's one of the reasons why it appeals to me. It's like a whole new challenge.
Yeah, for sure. That makes complete sense. And just before we draw to an end, do you have any other recommendations for our viewers of either movies or stuff on Netflix or books that you've been watching and enjoying recently?
Oh man, I have been reading. I just took like a scheduled break and I just started reading. So I'm like catching up on like books and TV shows and things like that. And I've kind of been on this mystery kind of thrillery kick. But I am right now making my way through Jane Harper's novels. She's an Australian author, and I read The Dry, and I'm reading The Survivors right now. And I'm really into her writing. I love it. She's amazing with character. And then a really strange TV show that I just finished, and this is like so unrelated to my own work, but is called Fortitude. And it's that
is a great show, Fortitude.
I had never even heard of it ever. And then a friend of mine was like, I think you would like this show. And so I just binge watched it last week on my break, and I had taken a week off of work. And so I watched this TV show and I loved it. So I'm kind of like in this little pocket of like mystery, thriller, small town character kind of vibe right now, which I'm really loving. So I'm like trying to, get my hands on anything I can find.
No, I like that. I can also see the connectivity with Fortitude between that and your own sensibility because of all the incredible vistas and whatnot that the show has.
Yeah, so atmospheric.
Absolutely. And it's really quite a unique piece of television, I think.
Yeah, it is. It took me by surprise in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Oh, well, thanks for sharing that with me. And once more, I've had the pleasure of chatting with Adrienne Young about her fantastically evocative novel, Fable, which you can order from the links attached to this video. Thank you very much for joining us today, mate. It's been wonderful meeting you.
Yeah, thank you again so much for having me.
Yeah, take care. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
If you're enjoying watching Forbidden Planet TV and you're enjoying watching us talk to the world's most interesting and accomplished filmmakers, authors, artists, musicians, creators, subscribe right here. See you soon.